Hi, it's Mark from PlanetMosh. It's Wednesday night here in beautiful, sunny, sub-freezing Belfast. So where else would any self-respecting music journalist be but down the pub, a pint of Guinness, with the one and only Mr. Cormac Neeson from The Answer.
How's it
Good
going,
to see you again, mate.
You too.
How's it going?
Aye, grand. Pretty busy at the minute. We've just got the record all finished and we're looking forward to getting out on the road. Tour kicks off, I think it's the 6th of March in Belfast.
Yeah,
No better
hometown
place to
show.
start, aye. And then we head to Dublin and then head over to Manchester to start the UK leg. And that kind of takes us all around England, Scotland, and we head to Europe then for a tour in April. And it's just we're at that moment now. It's like the calm before the storm, you know. Very few people have heard the record yet, so you know it's not released until the 9th of March, I think. So we're just kind of starting to get the butterflies in anticipation.
Yeah, you say very few people have heard. Of course, we at PlanetMosh have heard it. Congratulations! It is a great album. It's a slightly different album to me. It's very much more diverse feel to it. Quite experimental in places in the guitar work, and quite mellow in comparison to some of your previous stuff.
I don't think mellow is the right word. I think there's definitely more mellow moments on there. You know, we did. I mean, the whole light and shade, the diversity of the band has been there for quite some time now. I think it's always been the challenge to really truly represent what The Answer stands for within 40 minutes of music, 45 minutes of music, whatever it is. But I think we've kind of got as close as we have in quite some time to doing that on this record. You know, we just we try to clear the deck, just cut out any background noise, any external pressure, whether that be from record label management, even the fans themselves, and only care about the opinions of the four members of the band. You know, which is quite liberating. It kind of felt like we were making our first album all over again, whenever all you have to worry about is making great music, and the only reason you're doing it is because you love making music. And like that liberation and that freedom, I think it definitely filters its way through the record in a big way.
You recorded the album, of course, in Madrid. Did that help that process of escape and freedom and relaxation? It took the pressure away from being in an cloistered environment?
We recorded it in a wee town just north of Madrid, up in the mountains, at a time whenever the annual fiesta was in full swing. And you know, I'm talking bull runs in the morning, all day drinking, bull fights in the evening, and then like I'm talking St. Paddy's Day drinking till 5 or 6 in the morning in this town. You know, and obviously we were there to do a bit of work, you know, and we would maybe go out and watch the bull run in the morning and then lock ourselves away and make music for 12 hours and then re-emerge at midnight, by which stage the whole time was just doing the breaststroke in the middle of the street, you know, entire families in that state. And it was a real electric party atmosphere pretty much the whole time we were there, and that helped feed the fire, you know, because this record, I think it's essentially a good time rock and roll record. There's a lot of optimism on there. There's a lot of good feel good vibes, and the Spanish location definitely just helped to augment that a bit.
Yeah, there's a very relaxed feel to it. It's an album, I've listened to it now 3 or 4 times. It's a grower of an album as well, because every time you listen to it, you hear more and more to it. There's more layers. Your vocals, I must say, are superb, and there's great range on them. Especially when there's moments on it, Cigarettes and Regret. You wouldn't know it was you. Your vocal style is completely different.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not forced, you know. It's 4 guys doing what we do, and we didn't have any remit other than to make an almighty racket and have a good time doing it, you know. And that, as I say, there's a freedom to that kind of writing style, where you just let the music take you where it's going to take you. And you know, in contrast to maybe New Horizon, which was quite intense, it was born out of kind of instability behind the scenes and all the anxieties that come with that. it's our second record with Napalm, and we're signed up for another 2. You know, so it's a very freakishly stable environment we find ourselves in, which means we don't have to worry about the business side of things, which quite frankly we're not very good at, and we can just concentrate on doing what we do best, and that's writing good songs.
To me, it's a very diverse album. It is an album that I think takes what you've done before, your previous albums, and encapsulates them in a way in one album. The diversity and the feel of it. It's very, as I said, also very complex. Much consideration do you give when you're writing and recording to the ability to then transform that into the forthcoming live environment?
I think whenever we're writing songs and jamming them out before we take them into the studio, and then once we're in the studio, we're recording them in such a way that we're kind of already performing them. You know, we would never. I don't know if we would never, but we haven't to this point ever put a song on a record that we couldn't just get up on stage in the morning and play it for a bunch of people. You know, I think because it's important that whenever you hear an Answer record, you hear the chemistry between the 4 members of the band. I mean, we've always written the songs together. Everybody's a very capable musician. We've always been a 4-piece. There's never been a rhythm guitarist in the band, you know, and
or keyboards.
Or keyboards, you know. So that makes you kind of shapes the way you develop as a musician and as a songwriter, and we've really embraced that chemistry and used it as part of what it is that really stamps out our own thing, our own identity as a band.
When you come in to promote a new album on the road, one thing that fascinates me when a band has brought out a new album is how do you, as a band, sit down and say, right, what songs are we going to include live? How much of the new album are we going to play? Especially to audiences like on the first couple of dates here in Belfast and in Dublin that haven't heard the songs yet, except for maybe the video that's going to come out on YouTube and so on. How much thought do you give to the degree of doing the old favourites that everybody expects, and yet taking the live show to the new boundary of the new album?
Yeah, I think we're kind of trying to do stuff that people won't expect on this next tour. You know, we're going to play a bunch of new material. We're actually dropping a lot of songs that we've played, you know, at every gig for the last 8 years. I think first and foremost, because it's absolutely integral to a band's survival that things are kept fresh and interesting for the band themselves. And secondly, we believe in this record. You know, we believe that these songs need to be heard, and we're very proud of the new music that we're putting forward. And you can't claim to be a contemporary band if you're not playing new material and contemporary songs. You know, I mean, there's no point. It's not like, you know, it's not like AC/DC who have a back catalogue of spanning over 40 years and a lot of big hits that thousands and thousands of people are paying to see, you know, to fill a stadium to go and see them play that. We're still developing as a band. We're still in the moment, you know, and you know, we're going to be playing a lot of new tracks on this tour. I mean, to kind of balance that to a certain extent, we've put a song poll on our Facebook page where fans can vote for, you know, 1 or 2 old songs that we haven't played in a while and they'd like to hear in this tour, you know. So I mean, there will be obviously a link to what's gone before, but I think on the face of things it's going to be a very new and fresh sounding tour.
I want to move slightly away from the album side, because you say you're about to go out on tour. It's less than a couple of weeks away now. It's an important time for you as well, personally. You've just had a baby son.
Sure.
How difficult is it going to be for you to go out on the road with your new family commitments, especially with the what you've gone through with your wife and son coming?
Yeah, it'll be very tough leaving them, and it'll be hard going. I'd say the early stages of the tour, you know, because I've never been in this situation before where I'm leaving a kid behind, you know. But having said that, I mean, this is the path I've chosen, you know. Myself and my wife have, you know, we have our eyes open, you know. We know what we've got going on and what I have to do to, first and foremost, you know, if you're talking about family, first and foremost make a living, you know, so that I can provide for my baby boy. So, you know, I'm gonna get out there and give it everything I've got. You know, he'll be ever present in my mind, and I'll get home to him soon enough.
You're building a future for him, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
So, looking forward to the tour then?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting up on stage again. It's been a while since we've done a full tour. I think you know, we did a bunch of festivals and then a couple of shows before Christmas. But whenever you're out there and you're doing 6 shows in a row, you're really hitting a sweet spot from a live perspective. It's always a good feeling, and to be armed with a brand new album's worth of material, you know, it's promising. It's an exciting time from a musician's point of view, and we're looking forward to seeing how the audience takes to the new tracks as well.
Well, I'm sure they will. So we've PlanetMosh, we've heard the album, and very impressed by it. It's very much of a grower of an album. You listen to it more and more into it, and we're really looking forward to seeing you back on stage in Belfast in about 2 weeks' time. March the 6th.
6th of March in the Limelight. We'll be there, giving it everything we've got.
Surrounded by family and friends, of course. Lots of friends here in Belfast.
Always, yeah. That's the beauty of the Belfast show. You're looking out there and you're seeing a lot of new faces, thankfully, but a few faces down there that have been coming to see us since we played Katie Daly's many years ago. And you know, one of the 8 people that came to see us play that night. So it's good to have. I mean, we built the band from the ground up, and it all began here in Belfast.
Yeah, and of course you'll be getting down on your knees again, of course, to meet the preacher. Yeah,
I may well be.
Good note to sign off on, folks. As Cormac says, raise a little hell. We'll be raising hell from March the 9th. The band live will be raising hell from March the 6th right here in Belfast. March the 7th down in Dublin. Then look out Great Britain and Europe. The answer are coming for you. It's PlanetMosh signing out. Sayonara.